Okay, so on to chapter 2, which is the rise of Whitney Houston. From 1983 to 1992, the rise to superstardom. So at 19 years old, she signed with Clive Davis Arista Records. A confluence of factors led to Whitney Houston signing with Arista Records at a young age of 19. So I'm going to go through different points of what actually led to the signing. Whitney's exceptional talent. Show-stopping vocals. Even at a young age, Whitney possessed a phenomenal vocal range and a power that captivated audiences. Her voice was the strongest asset and the foundation for her success. And not many of us look at it that way. Look at our vocals as our most valuable asset. Like a football star looking at his feet as his most valuable asset. And these are assets that we have to protect at any cost. Early exposure and experience. Gospel roots. Singing in the choir at her mother's church honed her vocal skill and stage presence. Background vocalist. Working with established artists like Chaka Khan and Jermaine Jackson provided valuable professional experience and industry exposure. The right place, the right time. Clive Davis, the president of Arista Records, was known for his keen eye for talent. He saw the immense potential in Whitney's voice and charisma. The music industry in the early 1980s was seeking new crossover artists. Whitney, with the powerful vocals and gospel background, offered a unique blend that appealed to a wider audience. Something that I've mentioned several times already in chapter 1, that Whitney had great confidence in herself and she had a phenomenal, electrifying stage presence. So, despite at a young age, Whitney exuded confidence on stage. Her captivating stage presence convinced Clive Davis that she could handle the demands of stardom. And back to parental support. Whitney's mother, a gospel singer herself, recognized her daughter's talent and provided unwavering support throughout her career. Given Whitney's young age, parental consent was crucial for signing the record deal. In 1985, Whitney Houston releases her first album called Whitney Houston. It became a global phenomenon, selling over 25 million copies and scoring 3 #1 singles, Saving All of My Love for You, Greatest Love of All, and How Will I Know. So around this time, Tina Turner was also coming up as a solo artist. In 1976, she runs away. She leaves Ike Turner due to the abuse. She doesn't look back. In episode 1 of Unlocking Tina Turner, I told you guys that it took her 8 years to have a great breakthrough as a solo artist within the music industry. 8 years of getting herself together, fixing her personal life, getting her mental state in order, and she releases Private Dancer in 1984. And then come 1985, Whitney Houston breaks on to the scene. So in the mid-80s, the music industry was undergoing a period of significant change, which created the perfect breeding ground for the success of both Whitney Houston and Tina Turner. So I'm going to share with you guys a breakdown of these key trends that was happening in the mid-80s within the music industry. The first trend, the rise of MTV. The dominance of MTV, a music video channel, placed a new emphasis on visuals and performance. This benefited artists like Whitney and Tina, who had captivating stage presence. Crossover appeal. The lines between genres like pop, rock, and R&B were blurring. This allowed artists like Whitney, with the gospel roots, and Tina with the rock-tinged R&B, to appeal to a wider audience. Demise of disco and rise of synthesizers. Moving away from disco, the disco era of the late 70s was giving way to a more polished and synthesizer-driven sound. Whitney and Tina's music incorporated these elements, making them relevant to the changing musical tastes. strong female vocalists. The industry was seeing a resurgence of powerful female vocalists. Whitney, with the unmatched range, and Tina, with the raw energy, fit perfectly into this trend. Breaking barriers, both artists were also breaking racial barriers in the traditionally white-dominated music scene. Additionally, Whitney's debut album, with its blend of pop ballads and dance-worthy anthems, catered to the growing adult contemporary market, attracting a wider demographic. Tina Turner's Private Dancer marks a successful comeback after a period where, with her former husband Ike Turner, a story of resilience resonated with audience. Once again, 8 years after. So in essence, the music industry shifted towards pop and R&B, and a focus on visuals created an opening for both Whitney and Tina, amongst other artists, of course. The unique vocal styles, powerful stage presence, and ability to appeal to a broad audience further propelled their success. However, their music often distinct flavors within the broader trends. Whitney, more polished pop soul with soaring vocals. Tina, rockier and raw approach to R&B. Their rise wasn't a competition, but rather a testament to the evolving music industry embracing diverse female talent. Initially, when I was planning unlocking Whitney Houston, I never think at first that I'll, bring back Tina Turner, but the dates of their debut solo albums were so close that I just had to take a deep dive myself into what was happening in the music industry in the 1980s, that two of the most phenomenal artists in that era were coming up at the same time. So there had to have been this trend that was happening. So I wanted to take that deep dive into that, and this is what came out of it. Next point of chapter 2, the follow-up Whitney, which was released in 1987, became the first album by a female artist to debut at number 1 on the Billboard 200 chart. It featured even more chart-topping hits like I Wanna Dance with Somebody Who Loves Me and Didn't We Almost Have It All. Whitney became a pop icon, known for incredible vocal range, powerful stage presence, and crossover appeal. She broke down racial barriers in the music industry, achieving mainstream success that had previously eluded many black artists. Ventured into acting with the starring role in the romantic comedy The Bodyguard, which was released in 1992. The soundtrack became the best-selling soundtrack of all time, featuring her iconic rendition of Dolly Parton's I Will Always Love You. So from Whitney Houston's rise in the late 1980s and early 1990s, here are key takeaways for independent artists like yourselves who are listening to this episode right now. So hope you have your pen and papers ready to jot some notes. But of course, once you sign up to my Patreon channel, you will have all the show notes for you. And of course, maybe there'll be the different points that could be missed out, what I will mention now, but you're more than welcome to reach out to me for that. First point is embrace your voice and style. You need to have a unique selling point or a unique selling proposition, USP. Whitney's powerhouse vocals and soulful delivery was her USP. Identify what makes your music distinct and focus on honing that strength. So I'm going to tap in to a USP. As an independent artist, identifying your unique selling proposition or unique selling point is crucial for standing out in the crowded music industry. Here's what you can look for: musical style and influences. Genre. What musical genres do you gravitate towards? Do you blend elements from different styles to create a unique sound? Analyze your existing music and identify your sonic fingerprint. Like for myself and what we've done with Becky Zarko which features Snoop Dogg, which is going to be released on the 18th of June, is we blended elements from different styles, Kwaito and hip-hop. So that becomes part of, I wouldn't say my personal brand, but the brand of pow.Early Records, Deep Tech Entertainment, or MGX Entertainment. Bringing sounds together, be part of our brand identity. You have two different brand identities. You have your personal brand identity, or USP, and then you have your business USP as well. Next point is musical heroes. Who are your musical inspirations? Understanding the artists who influence you can help pinpoint the elements you incorporate into your own sound. My example would be like, Eminem growing up. So certain elements, we try to bring it into our sounds where possible. Vocal and performance style. Vocal strengths and distinctions. What makes your voice unique? Is your powerful belting range? Is it your powerful belting range, soulful raspy tones, or music stylistic nuances? So on that point, I'm going to break down how your vocal style can contribute to your unique selling proposition as an independent artist. Vocal strengths and distinctions. This category focuses on the technical and stylistic aspects of your voice that make it stand out. Here are some specific examples to consider. Powerful belting range. If you have a strong voice that can effortlessly hit high notes, you can use this to your advantage in genres like pop, rock, or musical theater. Think of artists like Kelly Clarkson, Aretha Franklin, or Freddie Mercury. Soulful raspy tones. Raspy or smoky quality can add depth and emotion to your voice, perfect for genres like blues, soul, or even alternate rock. Think of artists like Janis Joplin, Amy Winehouse, or Leonard Cohen. Smooth stylistic nuances. Perhaps your strength lies in your smooth vocal control and subtle inflections. This can be ideal for genres like jazz, R&B, or folk music. Think of artists like Norah Jones, Alicia Keys, and James Taylor. Beyond these examples, consider other characteristics. Unique vocal timbre. Is your voice naturally bright and airy, or warm and husky? This inherent quality can be a defining aspect of your USP. Delivery and phrasing. Do you have a distinct way of phrasing words or bending notes? These can contribute to overall vocal style. Vocal effects usage. Do you incorporate vocal effects like distortion or layering to create a unique soundscape? This can be a creative way to stand out. Remember, strengths don't have to be limited. You can possess combination of these strengths. For example, you might have a powerful belt, but also use smooth tones for softer sections of your songs. Focus on what makes you special. Don't try to force a specific vocal style if it doesn't fit or feel natural. Identify your vocal strengths and use them to your advantage to create a unique and captivating sound. By understanding your vocal strengths and how they differentiate you from other artists, you're taking a step towards defining your own musical identity and building a strong USP. So USP is critically important. Not sure if I mentioned this before in Unlocking the Icons, but I mention it or have mentioned it quite a few times within my podcast, is that the moment we take on an artist, or let's just say you come see me at the Kino as a consulting agency and you get signed on as a client, one of the first things that we do is I present you with, it's about 3 pages around your own awareness for you to identify your own personal brand, identify who you are, and identify your USP. Based on that, actually give us the foundation to actually move forward with your career and build your own individual brand, build your USP. It's extremely important. Okay, so on to the next point that we can take away from Whitney's career in the late 80s and early 90s, stage presence and charisma. Oh, actually not. I'm still on USP. I was breaking down the vocals. So these are just more factors contributing to the USP. Stage presence and charisma. How do you connect with your audience during live performance? Are you captivating a storyteller, a high energy performer, or an artist who creates an ultimate atmosphere? Content and message, lyrical themes. What stories do you tell through your music? Do you explore themes of love, social justice, personal struggles, or fantastical worlds? Identifying your thematic focus helps you connect with the specific audience. Personal brand and values. What message do you want to convey with your music? Are you promoting positivity, challenging suicidal norms, or simply offering relatable stories? Understanding your core values helps you build a brand that resonates with your audience. Image and visual identity. How do you present yourself visually? Is your image polished and glamorous, edgy and rebellious, or something else entirely? Your visual identity complements your music and strengthens your brand. Well, look, when we look at this also, there's so many people who have a persona, so many artists who have a persona out there. They're one person behind the scenes and they're a different person in front of audiences. Even though this strategy does work, I really don't recommend it, not in this day and age and moving forward into the music economy. Live show, how do you use visuals during live performance? Do you incorporate costumes, lighting effects, or specific set designs to enhance your music and connect with your audience? Remember, a USP is not just one thing. The USP is confluence of your musical style, voice, message, and image. It's your unique package that differentiates you from other artists. Authenticity is key. Don't try to imitate trends or other artists. Your USP should be a general reflection of who you are as a musician and the music you create. Or to add to that, not just you as a musician, but you just as a person, as a human. Who are you? Refine over time. Your USP may evolve as you grow as an artist. Don't be afraid to experiment and refine your sound and image over time. By reflecting on these aspects, you'll gain valuable insights into what makes you unique as an artist. This understanding of your USP will empower you to create a compelling brand, connect with your audience, and carve out your own space in the music industry. So that concludes now USP. Now, officially on to the next point. From key takeaways from Whitney Houston's career, late 80s, early 90s. Work ethic and dedication. Whitney's exceptional talent was undoubtedly nurtured by years of dedication. Hone your musical skills, songwriting, and performance craft. Embrace continuous learning. The music industry is constantly evolving. Stay updated on industry trends, production techniques, and marketing strategies. Such a critical point. Always emphasizing that learning is daily and it never stops. Build a strong team, which is what she did. The power of mentorship. Whitney likely had vocal coaches, not likely, she did have vocal coaches, producers, and managers who guided her career. Seek mentors who can offer guidance, support, and industry expertise. Collaboration is key. Collaborate with other musicians, producers, and creatives to expand your sound, network, and share knowledge. This is exactly, what we do at power.Early Records with the future projects. Business savvy for artists, understanding the industry. Even with Clive Davis guidance, Whitney likely had some understanding of the music industry business aspects. Educate yourself on music contracts, royalties, and publishing rights. Building a brand. Whitney wasn't just a singer, she was a brand. Develop your online presence, cultivate your unique image, and connect with your audience in meaningful ways. Can't just be a singer. You have to build a brand. You have to become an entrepreneur. That's what comes with being an artist in 2024. Beyond the music, Whitney was a captivating live performer. Practice your stage presence, audience engagement, and create memories at live shows. Give people the best experience you possibly can when they attend your live show. Giving back. Whitney supported various charitable causes. Consider using your platform to advocate for causes you care about and connect with your audience on a deeper level. Remember, success is a journey. Whitney's rise was followed by challenges. Be prepared for the ups and downs. Stay focused on your goals and learn from your experiences. Enjoy the process. Create music and sharing it with the world is a privilege. Don't lose sight of the joy and passion that drives you as an artist. By learning from Whitney Houston's remarkable career during the period, you as an independent artist can empower yourselves to navigate the music industry, build a sustainable career, then create music that resonates with the world. And that concludes chapter 2. So much value just in that alone, taking it away. Like sometimes, I go out there on the podcast or one of my posts and I say something and then people don't really resonate with it or think, no, it's just complete rubbish. And then when you actually take a deep dive into people's lives and I share the notes for independent artists like that, you will see certain things that we mention at the agency. These artists also implemented it in their lives. It's coming from somewhere valuable, not just out of thin air. So on to the final chapter plus extra points coming up in chapter 3.